Hi, good morning. Thank you for being here. We're going to do a brief reading before I get started with my clients today. So, just now sitting down, I thought we could start by pulling a card from the Living Untethered deck. Happy Friday, y'all. It's a beautiful day. I've already been on a walk out at a park. So beautiful. And it's like supposed to be in the 70s. We've been down into the as low as the 20s, and now we're as high as the 70s this weekend. Midwest fall. Enjoying all of it. Okay, and we even had snow already last Sunday. I don't know why I'm talking about the weather while I shuffle. Okay, let's see what shows up for us today. This is the human predicament and beyond. All these have categories. So this says, begin to accept that things are going to happen. They're going to hit your heart, and your mind is going to create thoughts. Don't resist. Commit to being at peace with this process. I'm sighing because it's like that is such a deep thing that's been happening for me lately, or at least it's a theme that keeps coming up, where it's like everything in this life just happens. We create our perception of a life lived through how we respond or react to the things that just happen. Meaning responding is probably more gentle. Reacting has that pushback kind of feeling, keeping things at a distance, separation. Whereas responding is just like a gentle, like, oh, I feel the vibration of what's hitting me, the shock, the grief, the anxiety, the worry, the joy, the love. Like I'm feeling all of it and I can respond. It's almost like I feel it and I come right back. It's like waves. That's the energy I'm feeling. And then like reaction is more like, something almost like explodes out of us as a response to what's happening. It's reaction without, like, that's what reaction is, isn't it? It's like our autopilot behaviors and thoughts. So that's, to me, what this speaks to is begin to accept that things are going to happen. They're going to hit your heart, and your mind is going to create thoughts. Don't resist. Commit to being at peace with this process. And it's not even like we have to resist the thought making. Thoughts just happen too. And it's okay to allow them to happen. And if we try to resist the thoughts, it's sort of like what keeps them kind of with a hold on us. So I love that card. It is such a deep, profound truth for a way out of our own suffering. All right, let's see if these cards even go along with that. What comes up today? We have the Fool. I love that. It's an alligator. She's standing on she's holding a bird, and it's like she doesn't see what's below. So above, she just sees sort of like a tree with a flower on the end. But underneath, this whole alligator is there, like, almost like she doesn't perceive the danger that's right below her feet, because she's just in a state of bliss, holding her bird, looking at a beautiful tree flower situation. That does kind of go along with this. It's like there's like a danger that might be lurking, but it's all about our perception. This card feels bent. Oh, it is. Bummer. So it's a trust that things are going to be just fine. I can choose to see that this is beautiful. She's standing right on top of, like, is it dangerous? Is it not? It might just be how she perceives the situation, and she's trusting. Danger is all around us all the time, right? It really is. And so is love. Like everything's all around us all the time. It's when we try to foreshadow or try to like overprotect or over ignore or take anything to the extreme, right? It's not as gentle or healthy as it could be, but just to allow what is, like, yeah, things are gonna happen. Okay, then we have the Magician. We have two major arcana showing up as the two energies at play here. So we have the Fool and the Magician. The Magician, I've never seen this card before from this deck. It is a woman in a clown hat. There's a butterfly here. There's a goose. She has a wand that's sparkly on the end. There's a hand holding a hat, if you think about a magician's hat. It's weird how there's like a cross symbolism here showing up in a window within the hat. There's a lot here. And I think this is pointing to the magician's ability to kind of bridge this gap between the higher self, the spirit self, the intangible essence of us, and our tangible essence here in a physical body. So there's this, the way that the magician can anchor in things to manifest in our reality from the world of our hopes and dreams and our life plan, or wherever you want to take that. It's the things that are not readily apparent, and the magician can make them into reality. So what is this idea between the trust and the youthfulness? Some think the Fool means that you're a fool, and that's not it at all. It's almost like having a beginner's mindset, and then also knowing that the magician is not a beginner. They are highly skilled at doing just that. Like, I can maintain the beginner mindset of like, everything is fresh and new to me, and I can take things as they come because I'm not afraid. I know that I have the ability to respond in the moment, and I'm responding with a complete trust fall, right? And then the magician is very skilled and has all the tools. What's interesting about both of these to me, and this is maybe the crux of the reading, is that, and this is what most tarot readers say about them, is that both of them have with them all the tools. They have all of the elements in tarot. So they each have, like, this person usually has a knapsack, and in the knapsack, they're like on a journey. They're setting out from home with nothing but this knapsack of the tools. And the magician has each one of these as well. The wand, the sword, the pentacle, and the cup. So all four of the elements represented in tarot. These are the two cards in the tarot deck that we talk about that says they have all the tools they need. So it's funny that they're both coming up. So the difference between them, I feel like, is like the Fool is not, there's just such an openness feeling about the Fool. Like, they don't identify with anything because they're just so fresh and new. Whereas the magician, I feel like, has the identity of being the magician. So there might be something about identity here to look at, but also knowing that both of them have everything they need for whatever comes up next. Okay, so let's see. Let's get a few more cards. We got to keep an eye on time. Okay. We have the Ace of Cups. That's beautiful. I don't think I've seen it from this deck before. There's more butterflies flying out of this bowl as she's resting on or near the lakeside. She looks kind of giant in comparison to her surroundings. But that's a cup that's overflowing. Like, things are taking flight from her heart. So there's an opening happening, a heart opening happening in this story. There's the Five of Cups. I don't know if I've seen this one either. So to me, this one's like, it's like she has a hold of this stick, branch. It's like she's focusing on the three petals the 3 blooms that have fallen into the water. And the lesson here is like she just needs to turn around and appreciate the 2 that are still there and still thriving. So there's something, sorry, hot flash, about within the 5 of Cups. It's like we are already made of this. This is the divine heart, because the aces are what we call of the divine. They're a divine gift. And this is like our essence. That's what this feels like right here at the start of our story. Sometimes if it's at the end of a story, it feels like that's the journey we're on to a heart opening. This almost feels like a remembrance. We're starting out at this state. And then our journey is one of like a lot of things will hit our heart, just like this says. And it's like, how are we going to choose to respond or react? Right now, she's sort of in reaction mode, where she's looking down and being like, oh, bummer. If we could see her face, you know. But she's not looking up here right now to say, oh, I'm so grateful for what still is. So maybe that's the journey we're on, is to come to that turning point. Because the 5s are all about transformation and turning. It's a shift in perspective. I'm going to try to stop sweating and drink hot liquid. Makes sense, right? And then we have the King of Pentacles. Look at all the yellow in these 3 cards. That's what's jumping out to me. If I could show you. The King of Pentacles is that it's like a growing of the gratitude. So this is definitely, without a doubt, a story of the blossoming of gratitude in our lives for everything that we already inherently have. It could be our natural gifts within us. It could be the circumstances of our life. It could be all the tragedies that have befallen us, because it has made us who we are today. But look at all the yellow. To me, yellow, it represents optimism. It also represents maybe, and there's so many blossomings happening here and butterflies taking flight, like we've transformed into the butterfly, and it's time to like spread our wings and let things blossom. Let joy blossom. And what a beautiful story for a Friday going into the weekend. Oh, there is a tenderness I feel today. Maybe it's just me, but I like to tell you these things so you might know like what's coloring the reading. But without a doubt, the yellow's jumping out to me. The fact that both of these major arcana cards, the key thing here is they each have all the elements, which means they also contain all the balance, and they know which tool to use in any one moment. I have the tool of inspiration with wands, curiosity, excitement, joy. I have the tool of a cup of the heart. I can have empathy, compassion, love. I have the tool of the swords. I have clarity of mind. I have like spaciousness with air element, meaning I can create the space I need to respond how I need to respond. I don't have to respond quickly, even though a lot of times we think swords are like, whoosh. They can be exact. They can be discerning. I have the tool of discernment. And then with pentacles, I have the tool of groundedness, embodiment, connection. So it's like you have all of these elements. We each have all of these elements within us. Each and every day we can question, how might they be out of balance? Do I actually feel that they are in balance? When I think about all of those traits, when was the last time I expressed any one of those? Because we might feel we have the capacity to, but then when we look back and be like, man, it's been a while. No wonder since I've expressed it, maybe I should like dance a little jig to have that like wand energy, like, yeah, celebration energy. So anyway, that's what's really here, is like really understanding that all of those tools are inherently within us, all those traits. We may feel like that's not me at all, or I feel bad that I can't really empathize with people. I just feel so disconnected. Well, what's one little thing we can do to express that, even if only to ourselves, as like a little practice? So that's something that's coming to me in this reading, especially because there's like the optimism of all this yellow, which is like this knowing that that's within us at any one point. And if it's not being expressed, it's not something for us to take upon ourselves as shame or blame or judgment, as if we don't have those things. It's like, no, they just may not have come around in a while to be expressed. And it's like, okay, it just takes inquiry. It just takes asking the question. When was the last time I felt like I expressed something? Expressed genuine love and appreciation for the closest people in my life. And I say that because the King of Pentacles is here, and that's one of the things he definitely does, is he has gratitude for his closest loved ones, all the generations. One thing that's coming to me is, if you need to take a moment this weekend and just light a candle, get a little cup of joe, and say some gratitude to your ancestors, because they've been through a lot and you wouldn't be here without them. And I won't even go into how mind-blowing it is that of a miracle that you were birthed. All the circumstances that had to come together through all of the branches of your family tree over time that led to you. I can't. Okay, I said I wasn't going to go there. I'm not. I can't. I could talk all day about that. Like it's amazing. And that okay, I can't. Okay, we're going to stop. See, I can't stop. Okay, so we already know what this story is. It's the turning point seems to be, like it says, begin to accept that things are going to happen. The blooms are going to fall off the branch. And here, right in fall, I was just reflecting on that this morning when I went on my walk. I was like, I've been out on this walk several times this fall, and now the trees are bare. And I thought back to the moments of my previous walks, so grateful that I stopped to have gratitude in those moments, that the beauty of those leaves still on the tree and their fullest color were right there, knowing that they soon wouldn't be. So begin to accept that things are going to happen. The seasons change, and yet sometimes that daylight savings time change just throws us all for a loop, doesn't it? We have to talk about it for a while and get like, They're going to hit your heart, and your mind is going to create thoughts. Don't resist. Commit to being at peace with the process. I'm going to go real fast here because I got to wrap this up because I have a client coming. Sometimes they come early, which I love. So I'm just going to get a sweet little clarification. Just let's put a bow on this, because this is so sweet of a reading that we've already kind of sussed out the essence. Let's do it. We have the Two of Wands, the Seven of Cups, the Devil. Look at us ending with the Devil. The universe once again has gone, you said this was a sweet little reading. The Devil's here. So what I think about is, with a clarification, this middle card is the key here. The Seven of Cups is that exploration of the heart opening. What are the things that I haven't expressed in a while? Because I feel like expression tends to come from right here between the solar plexus, if you put any like value into this or truth for your own self. But like this center of self in the heart is like, tends to be where expression energetically feels like it has to happen, but it's really the whole core of our being, down to the sacral, the creative. So it's all of this, the heart, the sense of self that has to come out and express self, the creativity that wants to express, all of that, the sexual energy of that area too, all of that. So I feel like the Seven of Cups is that exploration of the feeling self. Like what do I need to, like which one of these elements feels like it hasn't been expressed in a while? Because this is daydreaming. It's usually somebody looking at Seven Cups going, So it's one of contemplation. Now the two here on opposite ends, we have the Two of Wands, which is one of like weighing that balance. So it's really about, oh, this is why I feel a little uncomfortable. Like really evaluating what is making me feel uncomfortable. Where do I find discomfort? Because this is why we have to begin to accept that things happen. Where am I not accepting that things are happening? And this is usually something that's calling us out of that comfort zone or that stale zone we've been in, that stagnant zone, and says, you might have to get a little uncomfortable in this process, and that's okay. Otherwise, we can't make change. We can't turn the corner of that perception. So this is saying it's time and it's okay to feel the discomfort. And the devil on the other side is saying, what repeating patterns are keeping you feeling trapped? What self-sabotage, what self-defeating behaviors or thoughts are keeping you going round and round? Because the devil has a way, if you want to say ego, has a way of saying, girl, you got problems. Yeah, you do. But do we really? It's all about our own perception. And then you might say, yeah, I got problems. I got 99 problems. I'm sorry. So it's like, but what makes it a problem, right? What makes it a problem? Like, it's our thoughts about the thing that make it a problem. And sometimes, yeah, like we have big problems. Like I can't afford to go grocery shopping for the weekend. So what else might exist beyond that statement? And there's a food pantry. And I can call a friend. And right? And so there's ways to travel through these parts of life. Like I've definitely had zero money, and then my choices felt very limited, and then I got very like and it took a while. Like as soon as I was able to like separate from those types of like then it was like, okay, now that I've created some space where I can like have the clarity, like the tool that I already have inside me of clarity and creating spaciousness to have clear thought is like now, and then opening the heart to say, I really need to connect and to really ask for help. You know, so that's just one little example of how it's the thoughts that are like these, whatever the things that are keeping us feeling like we have problems. And it's like, well, do we? Or is it just that things are going to happen and it's going to hit our heart and thoughts are going to happen, and that's okay, and we can feel all the feelings. There's no shame or blame, like I said, or judgment that needs to happen. It will likely happen in the short term, but don't turn it. This is saying the real message with the devil is like, don't turn that into a self-identifying thought, meaning, oh, that is me, right? Like when we take on the happenings in our life and say, oh, that's me and I'm ashamed. And that says, don't do that. This is like dropping the shackles of shame. Maybe I shouldn't label I like alliteration. Anyway, I gotta go. So that's what this is about, taking time to dream of, like really contemplate, reflect on all like the balances, because it's about balance, where I have felt imbalanced in all those traits we talked about, the wand energy, the pentacles, the swords, and the cups. Okay, so it's like, where have I felt out of balance with expressing those elements? So if you need examples, just rewind and go back to all the things we talked about that each of those represent and see, like, maybe I haven't felt inspired. You know, maybe I need to seek out something like sources of inspiration for that wand energy, since that's the one that showed up here. So thank you for being here. And as always, reach out if you want to do a reading, and have a wonderful weekend.